Hi, today I'm going to try to answer the question, how can one have multiple tables of content in a Pages document? Sometimes when writing professional documents, it's necessary to have multiple pages of content. For instance, some style sheets require thesis writers or dissertation writers to have a list of figures and a table of contents. Some publishing houses also require book authors to do the same kind of thing. Pages has a built-in limitation around a really great feature. The great feature is that it does have a really nice table of contents, and you can style the table of contents using the inspector and the document tab and then the TOC section of the document tab, and then you can select which headings you want to appear in your table of contents, and then you can use the table of content styles to select the font and heading nature of those, which can be different than what appears in your document. However, only one of these automatically generated table of contents is available per document. So authors will need to handcraft a second table to mimic the style or look of the table of contents. So for instance, here I have a list of figures and a list of tables. Let's say that I want to add 3 tables and I kind of want it to look like my regular table of contents. So I'm going to need a label for each table, and I'm going to need a page number. And by the way, these page numbers are hyperlinked within the document by default, so we can think about that in ours. If you export to PDF, the hyperlinks should also export with the PDF. Alright, so the first thing I would do is I would add a layout break, and this is going to keep the layout above our content of tables, and if we add a second one, a layout break, that'll insulate our text flow below us, so that whatever we do in the middle here is not going to affect the text flow above and below in terms of style sheets. So what we can do is we can say, let's say we're thinking about music here. Let's do this as table 1, and that's on page maybe 15. And let's say that the table 1 is comparative melodies. And hopefully that doesn't. Alright. Now this 15 is obviously not where we want it. And if we hit tab, then it doesn't go all the way to the right, it only goes 1 tab space. But we can define that tab space to align up with this here. So we can just click here on the ruler, and within our space, when we hit tab now, it'll line up. So we just do we can kind of line this ruler. You see there's a line there. We can line that ruler up on the left side with our existing table of contents, and then it'll automatically line it up down here. Now obviously it's not bold like the ones above in my other example were, because those were actual section headings, not subsection items. But let's add a second table, table 2, and comparative rhythms. So hit the tab, and now let's talk about this. Let's imagine this was on page 36. So we've got the 2 items there. Now let's say, for instance, that we wanted to center this list for some odd reason. we could simply add another item up here, and then let's see, if we bring this over here, so you see we can add some, and this is not in that section. So what we could do is we could copy style, and then just click this and paste style, and then when we get here, right, so everything's lining up on these little items here. So we could just click on that, copy it down, make some edits, and let's talk about let's talk about comparative harmony. And let's do this on page 68. I really like rhythms. They're worth talking about, worth spelling right as well. Yes, so that's kind of how I would approach this. What we could do to spice things up a little bit is we could go find a table or a figure. I have a figure here, so instead of a table, I'll just reference this one. So I can go right here to where it lays out in the document, and then go to the links page in the inspector and add a, I'm going to click the plus button, add a bookmark, right? So double click it and you can title this bookmark Table 1, and it automatically occurs on page 10, and it will automatically update if you add enough content that your items need to flow to a new page. So what we could do here is we could add a hyperlink to that portion there, and let's say hyperlink to bookmark. We could also hyperlink the page number if we wanted to. Insert hyperlink bookmark, and we want to point it to table 1. Now we probably don't want this internet looking blue underline, so what we can do is we can highlight the text, and we can, you might be familiar with paragraph styles already, but if we were to use paragraph style, the whole line would be changed. But if we use character styles, we can add emphasis and a variety of, you can define character styles. Character styles work within the scoping of a paragraph, and they only change the highlighted content of characters, not the entire paragraph. So if we wanted this one to be none, we could, it's still a link, clickable, and it's not defined. So define it, and then it's a link, clickable, and it takes us to that portion of the document. When you export to PDF, it'll be there as well. That's how I would approach creating a second list that kind of mimics the behavior of this table of contents. Thanks for watching.